you can still settle the case at that point. You can request a neutral judge from the Office of Administrative Hearings to get this case heard and potentially settled. The judge in this conference, in the settlement conference, is a neutral judge, and they can try to help you settling the case before it moves forward with a hearing. So even if you're at that point with a disciplinary action or an accusation, you can still request a settlement conference and have this case settled. Again, have an attorney supporting you here because it is a very detailed process, and anybody who's not familiar with the law process, the legal process, will probably have a hard time trying to resolve this case at this point. So what is a hearing with the CSLB? A hearing is an actual date where both sides are going to be heard. The CSLB's side is going to be represented by the Attorney General's office, and your side will probably be represented by your own attorney or by yourself if you chose not to hire an attorney. So it is a legal proceeding. You're going to be seated in front of a neutral judge, your attorney, and then the CSLB in front of you. And there's going to be a lot of questioning and presenting information. You're going to be presenting everything that was brought up during the preparation process, all the contracts, all the change orders. You're going to argue on your side, and the CSLB is going to argue that you violated that these violations are accurate, and that your license should be revoked, or there should be restitution, or whatever they choose at that point. But it is a full hearing process. It may be online, or it may be physically face-to-face. It will be a neutral judge listening to both sides, your side and the CSLB's side. If you have an attorney representing you, the attorney will know what to do. The attorney will know how to question or examine, how to respond to cross-examination. All that stuff is managed by your attorney. After the hearing, the judge will have time to review all the documents and then come up with a recommendation. The CSLB can either choose to accept the recommendation or to appeal the recommendation. Or most judge recommendations will not be appealed by the CSLB, but the CSLB does have the ability to appeal this process. The problem is that at that point, if you still want to keep your license clean and in good standing, the CSLB will most likely demand that you cover the legal fees that they incurred for this case. That means their cost of investigation, the Attorney General, the cost of the Attorney General's office, anything else they incurred, in addition to any restitution that you may be required to pay your client at that point. There may or may not be restitution. But at that point, however the case is being resolved, it is going to show up on your license as a complaint disclosure for public information for the next 5 years or so. You may be able to keep your license in good standing if your attorney did a good job defending you. There may be a disciplinary bond that you may need to purchase to keep your license and continue to work, or your license may be revoked for up to 5 years because of these violations. So the hearing, that's the final stage of this disciplinary action and legal process with the CSLB. You still can potentially keep your license, but at that point, you're really going to have to defend your case, and most likely the CSLB will proceed with some of these violations, and the judge will rule that some of these violations are accurate. The judge may recommend restitution, revocation of your license, and potential payment to CSLB to cover all their expenses during this legal process.